for every real estate investor watching, should take out time to have a trip to Ibeju-Lekki and see what is going on there. And I'm going to, just say a few things that is going on in Ibeju-Lekki. Ibeju-Lekki is going to have the 6th largest refinery in the world and the largest refinery in Africa. And by estimate, they've said the refinery will be operational with 20,000 staff. So imagine, the influx of 20,000 people in a place. They need a place to lay their head. They need a place to buy food. They need a place to buy things and a whole lot of things. So properties around that area is naturally and definitely going to appreciate. So by the time I am cashing out on my investment, and some people that have invested in bad locations, you realize that nothing comes out of it and you start regretting. Another risk in real estate investment is actually bad tenants. Just like I said in previous videos, real estate investment, real estate consisting of land and properties. I've been talking about land. But let's look at houses, properties. For some investors that says, okay, I don't want to buy land. I want to buy house. Either buy house and resell for the profit, or buy house and put tenants. So imagine you buy a house of 50 million and you want to lease it out for 5 million naira per year, and your tenants are not paying. As far as I'm concerned, is a bad investment. And the process of getting these tenants, if they don't pay, the process of giving them quick notice and ejecting them from the house is a long process. While deciding if you want to invest in real estate or not, you need to know what part of real estate you want to invest in and what are the challenges in that area that will give you, the idea or the mental view of how your investment will turn out to. Then again, still on those that are buying houses, there are risks in buying a ready-made house. And one of those risks is hidden structural problems. Now, fortunately for me, I have background in building, I have background in construction. And in my field, I've realized that a lot of houses that people sell, they concentrate more on the finish. They concentrate more on the finishing and not the structure. And when I say structure, what am I talking about? The bedrock of the structure of a building starts from the foundation. It starts from the right foundation a building needs. Okay, let's take for instance, just like I said, I have background in construction. Let's say in an area or in a location, the kind of foundation that a building needs is, let's say, pile foundation. We have 3 types of foundation. We have the strip foundation, we have the raft foundation, and we have the pile foundation. I'll see if I can really touch on that. So now, if there's a location that the building there should actually be built on or with a pile foundation, and somebody just decide, okay, I want to do a raft or I want to do a strip foundation. The unfortunate thing in the industry is that these buildings, they don't collapse same day, they don't collapse same year, they don't collapse even in 5 years. It is later in the future. So if the structure of the building is not right, you buying will not know. You fall victim, you see the good finishing and you buy. But as time goes on, you will see houses collapsing. And that's part of our problem in Lagos. There has been several collapses in Lagos because the structures are not good. So for real estate investors, I am not saying don't invest in houses. You can, but you can do your due diligence. Before you actually venture into buying a house, what you need to do is do integrity test on the building. Get the as-built drawings and see how these things are actually done. Because when you see a house, you see the tiling, you see the painting, you see the POP, it is fine. What are the things that they've used all this finishing to cover? Those are the things you need to put into consideration. So, still talking about the risk. If you invest in that kind of property, you've lost your money, you've lost your time. You can't even be talking about return on investment when you've lost your capital. So, another risk in investing into real estate is the foreclosure. That means, for those that are doing mortgage or for those that are paying gradually and you can't meet up. If that happens, you stand the risk of not only losing the money, not only losing the property, you lose the money and you don't get the real value of what you have invested. Let me break it down. Let's say you want to invest into Amen Estate, for example, and it's 15 million, and you decide you want to be paying gradually, and you can't meet up. So let's say you've paid 10 million. By the time you are opting out and saying you are not doing again, you are no more interested, you want your money, fine, you have lost your land because you didn't finish paying. It's actually not your property. But the so-called 10 million that you have paid, you can't get the 10 million naira back, because the real estate companies, they will be charging you administration fee. It depends on the company. Some take 10%, some take 20%, some take 30%, some actually take 50%. So while investing into it, the risk of you not meeting up is something you need to worry about if you cannot complete the payment. So the last on this my list of risk in investing is depreciation. In as much as I've been talking about real estate investment and how it appreciates the return on investment, there are some real estate investment that actually depreciates. And I'm going to break it down. For me, I'm a realist and I'm very, very pragmatic. Now, there are several things that makes your real estate investment depreciate. Some pays you, some doesn't pay you, but I will break it down. The first one is, I've talked about the location. There are some places you go and buy, maybe for 500,000, 1 million, 2 million. 5 years, they are still the way it is. There are actually some locations in this country that probably you buy for X amount today, by the time you go back, it will reduce. But another thing in the industry that a lot of real estate companies do that I am not in support of is when real estate companies say they are doing promo. For a property that is going for 15 million, and everybody has bought for 15 million, and the company says, okay, I'm doing promo, and it's now 10 million, it's now 12 million. The truth is, at that point in time, your property has depreciated. And for those that bought for 15 million, how do you want them to feel? So for me, I feel sell for the right price and do things that makes the investment appreciate. I want to appreciate everyone for listening. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social media platforms at AIG Media Pro. And again, this episode is sponsored by Red Brick Homes International Limited. They are the developers of Amen Estate Phase 1 and Phase 2 at the Bejuleki area of Lagos State, Nigeria. Thank you.
Can you imagine? All they did in 3 years is one signboard, one gate house, and one house. Yours is even better. You can see one signboard, one gate house, and one house within 3 years. In my own case, after 1 year, there was no longer a signboard. All phone numbers were unavailable. If you go,
what? That's bad. As for me, I'm glad my steps were ordered to Amen Estate Phase 2. I saw their history, capabilities, their investments. What they put into Phase 1 in terms of roads, drainages, the whole infrastructure. They're legit. I felt safe joining Phase 2, taking advantage of their introductory prices.
Be smart, be wise. Key into Amen Estate Phase 2 from just 15 million naira per plot with a 20% initial deposit and the balance paid over a year, or homes from 20 million naira on the same terms. You too can live a quality lifestyle in a service development where everything works.